Algebra 1, Chapter 2, Section 3, solving multi-step equations. We've already learned how to solve addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division equations. Now we're going to put a couple of steps, possibly 3 steps, in our problems now. So let's go ahead and take a look at some examples. So our first example is going to be 11x minus 4 equals 29. What I need you to see is that our goal is to get this x by itself. So I need to move everything else that is on the same side of the equal sign as the x. So in this case, I'm going to need to move the 11, and I'm also going to need to move the negative 4. To do that, I have to remember back to my operations, and I want to move the one that's not connected to the variable first. It makes life a lot easier. So I see that 11 is connected. I'm going to move a negative 4 to the other side by adding 4 to both sides. Remember, our operation there was subtraction, so we want to do the opposite, which is division. Division, which is addition, excuse me. And so those will cancel. So I currently have 11x equals, and when I add the 29 plus the 4, I'm going to get 33. So now this looks just like we did last week, and I'm going to find out what operation the 11 and the x are doing. Since they are side by side, that is multiplication, and the opposite of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 11. That cancels that 11, cancels that 11. And I end up with x equals 33 divided by 11, which comes out to be 3. Again, you can take a couple of seconds and check that answer. If I plug that back in all the way over here, I'm going to take 11 times 3, which is 33, and 33 minus 4 gives me 29. So that answer checks perfectly. Now, looking at our second example, we have a plus 7 divided by 8 equals 5. Again, the 7 and 8 are going to have to be moved, and so I need to determine which one to do first. The a and the 7 are on top next to each other, so I'm going to move the 8. Because the 8 is on bottom of the fraction, that means division. So opposite of division is going to be multiplication. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 8. In this case, the 8's will cancel, and that gives me a plus 7 equals 5 times 8 is going to give me 40. Now, I've got one step to go. This is just like our 1 steps from last week. Because that is a plus 7, I'm going to subtract 7 because I do the opposite operation to balance it out. Those will cancel. So that leaves me a equals 40 minus 7 is going to give us 33. Again, we can take just a second to plug that back into our original equation. I'm going to write our original equation over here because it's kind of a jumbled mess over there. And let's see if it works. Everywhere I see an a, let's put in a 33. So 33 plus 7 is going to give me 40, and 40 divided by 8 does give me 5. So I know that that answer checks, and it is correct. My third example is 2/3 p minus 25 equals 115. 2/3 p minus 25 equals 115. Again, there are going to be 2 things I need to move. I need to move the 2/3, and I need to move the negative 25. And which one, in this case, is connected to the p? That would be the 2/3, so I'm going to move it last. My negative 25, that tells me subtraction, so I'm going to do the opposite of subtraction, and I'm going to add 25 to both sides. Again, make sure you are showing every step. So those cancel. Negative 25 plus 25 is 0. So that gives me 2/3 p is equal to 140. 115 plus 25 is going to give me 140. So now I have 2/3 p equals 140. When I have a fraction connected to my variable, this is the part where we are going to multiply by the reciprocal. Got a weed eater going by the window. I don't know if you guys heard that, but that would be the distraction. Not a problem. I'm going to multiply by 3/2 over here as well, which means I'm going to have to make my 140 into a fraction. Looking at these, I can cancel the 3 and that 3, cancel that 2 and that 2. And as crazy as this looks, my 2 can cancel into my 140. That'll go 70 times. Again, I just reduce it by 2. And now I multiply straight across. So 70 times 3 is going to give me 210. And then on the bottom, I've got 1 times 1, which will just give me 210 over 1, which simplified is 210. So if I plug this, I know it looks a little scarier, but we're going to do it anyways because I want to show you how to check everything. If I plug 210 in there, let me give us a little bit more space here. I'm going to have 2/3 times 210. I'm going to make that 210 over 1 minus 25 should equal 115. Well, our canceling, I know 3 goes into 21, so it should go into 210, and it does. That's going to be 70 times. 70 times 2 is 140. And 140 minus 25 does give me 115. So I know that my answer has checked, and it is so happy. That it has checked. Okay, that's about 8 minutes and 30 seconds. Multi-step equations, there are 3 of them. 3 examples there. And that should get us started for this section.